Welcome to the Brook Railroad, and today we're working on motor mounts for this new locomotive we're building. And it's a little different than the locomotives that these motor mounts go in. Normally I could just bolt this in to the new chassis, but it's 1.2 inches wide. So I'm going to have to cut 1 inch out of the, or 1/2 inch out of this side, 1/2 inch out of this side over here, and I'll end up with the right thing. Of course, I'll have to weld them back together, but big shout out to the folks at Send Cut Send who cut these parts. These are laser cut and bent. We designed these down at Banta Model Works, and he used a Send Cut Send, and he kind of turned me on to them, and you know, I am absolutely sold. I love the work that these guys do, and a quick turnaround, only about a week, and these parts were in my hands. And yeah, what more could you ask for in these days when it's hard to get parts? So in this video we're going to take this, turn it into this, and it'll fit perfectly. Stick around. So, I have a confession to make. I messed up. Motor mounts for most of my locomotives look like this. But this particular one I'm building is not as long as the locomotives I normally build. It's actually the length of Brook 70, which I did not build. Somebody else built it. It was built by Mr. Motion, actually. It's originally a Mr. Motion shifter. It is heavily modified. Basically rebuilt. Well, absolutely rebuilt, actually. So, I've been asked to build a frame for a Mr. Motion shifter. And that's the project I'm working on right now. This project. And I measured Brook 70 for the motor mounts. And I ordered the wrong size. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to cut 1 inch out of this one, or 1 inch out of this side over here, 1 inch out of this side over here, weld this back together, and that will be my motor mount for this particular build. Because I didn't put the cross braces, or the cross members in the frame in the right places, or at least not for being the 70. It is the right places, they're in the right places for this frame. And why do I say that? It's because this has different trucks than the 70 has. They're longer, they're the same trucks as the 71 has. This thing's gonna ride like a dream. But I've got to get this motor mount done. Let's do that. So I got to put something down first. I don't want to cut into the table. So these blocks of wood, they're good for propping things up. I think when I'm done propping things up with them, they are pressure treated, so I guess I'll paint them brown and put them out on the railroad as ties. I don't know. Figure something out. But right now, I've got to cut a straight line here, straight line here. Same thing over here, mirror image it. Figure out what, I guess I'll weld it back together, and I'll figure out how else I need to modify this to fit underneath the battery boxes on this new build. And I haven't built the battery boxes yet either, but that's a future video. So right now, it's the motor mount. We'll focus on that for right now for this video. So I'm going to strap this down, because it just makes sense to strap this down, really, to be honest. I gotta say, I absolutely love this welding fixture table. The whole reason I bought a welding fixture table is because I was watching Fireball Tool. He was talking about the case for welding fixture tables to ensure flatness. And you know, I'm not the best welder in the world. I'm getting better, but the machinist in me says yes, fixtures for flatness, absolutely. Of course, not only fixtures for flatness, but fixtures for squareness. These holes are all 2 inches on center, and a beautiful grid, and I can square up a locomotive frame in no time flat. This is the best welding tool I've ever bought. But no, before you jump the gun and assume, this is not a Fireball Tool welding table. If you've ever seen one of those, this looks nothing like that. This is a Northern Hydraulics one. So. There we go. All right, good. That blue smoke tells me I'm into the wood. So at this point, I'm going to clamp down just the piece that I'm holding to so it doesn't wander away. And I'll cut the other line. And now I can squeeze that together like that and weld it right up. Nobody will know the difference after I grind it. Let's go on to the next side. I'm just going to flip this around. This angle for grinding seems to work. I shove these closer together. Ooh, that's hot still. almost through. Clamp that down again. You see some of my other proposed lines here, but I'm not cutting on that right now. Right now I'm cutting along this line right here. It's a scribe line. Hard to see from your angle. Oops. Probably would have been better if I'd held this side too. Back to it. That's still hot. There. Now we're done with the grinder. I need to line these up. This is about the way they're going to go, but I need to put a straight edge on the back side. So I've got this piece of scrap. It's straight enough. Set it like this. Line this up like this. So then these two flats are at the same position basically. All right, that's like that. And now we can strap this down. I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to tack on top and bottom. Yeah, I'm going to tack it on the top and the bottom. And then I will finish my weld, grind this side, do the same thing on the other side. That seems like the right thing to do. Somebody might have a better idea, but by the time this video goes out, it will already have been done, and I'll just have to remember for next time. So the welder is set up for 25 pounds. Wait a minute. We have 25 pounds of argon. I think we do actually. And let's see, we're set up on our B selection, which is somewhere around 18 volts, I think. That's set up between 2 and 3, closer to 3 for our feed. And that should be right for 1/8 inch material, which we're very close to 1/8 inch. So we'll turn this on. Hook up the grounding electrode. Get ready to weld. I think I want a straight edge to weld along. That ought to do it. And those are decent welds. I could do better on being straight, but like I said, I'm still learning how to weld. Welding is something you practice, is what I'm learning. You get good with practice. And if you get out of practice, you get ungood at welding. I've definitely discovered that. But in some ways, it's like riding a bike. Sometimes there are some things that you just never forget. I think that will be good. I'm going to put this on here in the middle, just to hold it down while it's cooling. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but why not? Might not help me at all. You know what, if it doesn't, that's okay. There we go. Okay, so let that cool and come back to it. So while that's cooling, let's talk a little bit about fixtures. Coming from the machining world, fixtures are everything. If you don't have a good setup, you don't have a good part. So having a fixture to make the job doable or easier, or make the job more repeatable, those are all very, very important things. When I first heard about these things from Fireball Tool, I had never heard of a welding fixture table before, and I couldn't afford what he was offering, although they're beautiful tables. So I started looking for welding fixture tables, and I finally found this one from Northern Hydraulics, or Northern Tool. They used to be called Northern Hydraulics. Anyway, found this one. It was within my price range, and it has made my welding so much better. I can't say that it's made my welding technique better, but it's made the results better. My parts are all flatter. They're more square. I don't have to worry. You know, when I make a fixture on the table to square something up, I don't have to worry, is that square? I double check it. Yes, of course, always double check, because you might have miscalculated somewhere. But I've always had a flat piece, unless I accidentally get a piece of welding wire underneath the piece, like I did on a truck the other day. But that was easily fixed, and it wasn't twisted like I thought it was. It's quite the contrary. It was very flat, at least within the tolerances of the part, anyway. And that's all you really need, within tolerance of the part. Every part doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but the closer you can get it to perfect, all the better. That's precision. So this part is probably cooled off now. I'm gonna unclamp it from the table. I'm gonna grind the welds flat, and then we'll flip it over, put it on the edge of the table, and weld the other side. All right, moment of truth. Does it spring? It does not spring. Look on the back side. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. I got it a little crooked here, but I think what I'll do is on this side I'll weld down here. I'll weld this here. I probably don't need to weld this side at all, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because even though this piece really isn't under a lot of stress, it's holding a motor, and the stress is in this direction here. So yeah, imagine this bolted down to the frame of the locomotive like this. And the only stress this thing gets is these directions here. Oh, that's plenty strong enough. Yeah. I don't think I actually need to do anything more to this piece at all. Just grind it. So I'll grind it and see what it looks like. And if I'm happy with it, I'll just leave it. If I'm not very happy with this area here, then I'll just weld it up real quick, and I guess I'll do the same over here just to make it look the same. Another setup. Now this time, oops. Now this time we're going to set up on the edge of the table like this, and I'm going to move the clamps over. I'll move it about like that. Now I'll move it like this. This is a good spot for this one. Can't tighten that down too much because I didn't grind down the other side. Which I should probably do, actually. We'll just grind this real quick. All I can say is, wow, I don't need to weld that right there. So I'll just grind this over here and see what it does. Wow. I've got one little gap right there. You can just see the seam right here. I'll clean up the other side a little bit here, and let's see where that leaves us. Now I know some of you are gasping at me just grinding off my weld flat. I don't care, because I think that looks beautiful. If the weld is good, it'll hold up. If it's not good, it won't hold up. I'll give it a little bit of a test. Like I said earlier, it's not under a whole lot of stress, but it's got to look pretty. Beautiful. Look at that. I can touch that up a little bit there too. I think I'll do that right now. I'm going to clamp it. Let's see. We'll do this handheld. Good timing. This is done. Looks good from all sides. Now I get to test fit it. Now the motor mount goes right here. There we go. That fits perfectly. I'll show you how it would have fit originally. It would have fit like this, not at all. So yeah, like this, or yeah, this is perfect. So it'll sit in like this right here. The motor will hang off and hang in here. I think it'll be more like this, right in the middle. The sprocket will go down to the jack shaft. Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah, that'll just hold that in place. Big shout out to Send Cut Send, the folks that cut this. And well, thank you very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up button. Like, share, subscribe. You can join us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Millbrook Railroad. Thanks again for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.